Your business is in sync with LiveSync. This webinar is powered by LiveSync Accounting and Xero Accounting Software. Introducing Attorney Dexter Destajo.
Let's go to financial reporting. Let's look at the type of management reports and then your action report, what you can do with your reports. And then let's look at new reports also in Xero. So when you go to reports, you go here in accounting menu and then reports. So all the reports you can see in Xero. Question, sir, can I add more reports that is not here? The answer is no. So basically the reports, what you see here is this is what you get. You cannot add other reports. Okay, you cannot customize more reports other than what is being given here. Now you have financials, then you have the tax reports, accounting reports, you have the fixed asset reports, you have the sales report, purchase report, inventory report, and pay run report. I will not go over this one by one, but I would just emphasize the important reports. Now, if you notice, I have highlighted star here. If I highlighted star on this report, this will come to my favorite. Okay, so all the star report will show up in my report favorites. Okay, now, as far as financial reporting is concerned, these are the most important reports that you need to submit to your management. One would be the profit and loss. Okay, notice I'm using the old report, I'm not using the new report. Balance sheet, statement of cash flow, which is only direct method. You would also need an age receivable report, age payable report, and then accounts transaction report if required. Normally, you don't send this to your management because this is a ledger report. So what is necessary that you need to submit is this report. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's look at one by one this report. The profit and loss, okay, on your own time, you can play around with this. So this is the default. It has different filtering options for you. You can compare 3 periods. You can compare year to date. Okay. You can compare month to date progress. You can compare current year financial, actual also, versus overall budgets, if you have budgets. Comparative branches, we can compare per branches. Compare departments. Now, normally what I would do is I'll play around under compare periods. So let's say I want to look at the P&L for June. I will compare this. In my column, I need to see 1 month each column, and then I want to compare this with 2 other previous backwards. If I have a budget, I can select, but I don't have. I leave it blank. And then normally I would say show total for this. So what I do is, and then I make sure all my options are none. Do not filter. Okay, so you can actually select the currency you want in your report. You can select what department you want to run a report, all unassigned or individual department or branch in the same case. And then I apply this update. So now I would have a typical report where I report the current month and then I compare 1 month with 2 periods backward. And then this is my total. I can also go back as this as 5 so that I can see from January to June. And this is my total report. I can export this report here as an Excel. Okay, this is the Excel. You can also export this as PDF if you want. Very nice and clean. Yep. Okay, that is the sample. This is your Excel report. Okay, you can do that. Now, one thing you can also do here is actually change layout, no? Create layout. So what does layout means here? Meaning you can group your accounts. So if you notice your P&L is very lame and it's very flat, you might want to group them according to their functions of expenses or other things, right? So maybe what I would do is I would want to group all my admin expenses. So what are my admin expenses? Office expenses, for example, printing, subscription, cleaning. These are my admin, right? So I have an option to group them. So how I can group them? So I can create a group. Let's say I would say admin expenses, a group. And then you will place it where? Under operating expenses, which is here. And then you have an option to show summary or not. So what I would do is I don't want to show summary because I want to say the breakdown of the groups. So I can click that, okay. And then I see now as a group separately here. I can edit that group at any time. Okay, I can, if let's say I would do that in my cost of sale, then it will move up to my cost of sale. It's all here. Okay. But I would do that in my operating expenses group. If I do summary, what would happen is Xero would total that in the report, but I would not do that. So let's say this is my option, and then I'll put a name of this report. I'll say standard, E and L. Normally I copy that, and I want this layout to be my standard report. Then when you run a report, see, it's grouped already separately. Okay, you can also edit this layout again. Yeah, maybe you don't want this to show individually. I just want to show summary. So when I do that and save, it will show now as one line as an admin expense, not as breaking down. So that's the difference when you're doing summary or unpicking the summary. So, but normally what I would do, I would want to show this, unless you're producing as a short report, what I would do is I would unpick the show summary. So that's how you can play around on the layout. You can have as many layout you would want. You can create new layout again or create a new layout. It's up to you. One beautiful thing you can also do here is actually you can compare per branch, okay, per field, per tracker. So you can compare branch 1, branch 2, and as an unassigned. So the unassigned are technically transactions that were not allocated properly. So this is what I was saying earlier. In the P&L, you need to do a manual journal adjustment for this so that you can align the particular branch, because the pay run in Xero, you cannot do that. So let me just do that quickly for you. Manual journal. Okay, so what I would do is new journal, and then this is June 30. Tracking adjustment, we call it tracking adjustment. And then I'll copy that, and then I'll untick that cash basis there. And then I still use, what account did I use here? It's wages and salaries. No? So I use wages and also wages. You know, it's absorbed because I'm using both debit account and for debit and credit. But the trick here is that your P&L here is unassigned, right? So I will leave that blank. Okay. And then I'll put the amount. How much is the total? I want to total everything. So 24,800 plus 37,200. So 24,800. Okay. What's the other one? 37,200. So I'll do my mathematical here. 37,200. Okay. Sorry. Is it? Yeah, fine. I think so. And then I'll also copy this 62,500, 62,000. Yep. Now the trick here is that the other one, I would have to select this as branch 1 and then department 1. And then I would credit, my credit would be, I leave it blank. Okay. That's how you do a tracking adjustment. I leave the blank that I need to remove because it's a debit entry in our P&L. Now, when I refresh this, it goes now to my, oh, we just, what is this? Employee, there's an employee allowance. So I have made a mistake here. I'll do that again. So here, my actual amount was only 24,800. 37,200. And then this is 28. How much? 24,800. This is allowance. No. Okay. So I'm fixing that now. Not even. This is even wrong. This amount would be. Yep. Now we're okay. Let's look at. Then let's see here now. Yes. Perfect. So I moved the unassigned. It's now moving to its proper branch one places. That's how you do a tracking adjustment. So now you can see a branch one and branch two. I can also compare here differently from my department as well. Okay, no filter for that, only department I want to see. So only department two, sorry, all department. Okay, nothing unassigned. So it's perfect already. Now let's go to balance sheet. The same with balance sheet. You can also do groupings by doing layout. The same thing, okay? So this is what you're looking at here is just a standard layout that Xero gives us. So you have the bank account, the current asset, the fixed asset, and then you'll have a total asset. Then below that, you have a current asset group, and then net assets. And then you have the equity. That equity would always match to your net assets here. This is how it is presented. You can do that differently. You can also create layout like we did in a P&L, the same thing. You can put a name and then you can group them, summarize or not. It's up to you, okay? The same thing also with P&L. You can also download this by Excel and PDF. Now, another report would be age receivable. So this is the third report that normally you will submit to your management. So what I would do is show invoices always. So then I see the breakup. So then the managers would look at this, the aging of this report, and at the same time, you know who are still the customers that still need to pay you from the to the business. Okay, so that is, you can click show invoice or not. And with show invoice, it will show you here. You can also export this by Excel and PDF. The same is true with your age payable. Again, same thing, show invoices. So it shows us the breakup of this. Again, the age of this, you can see. Then you can also export and PDF. Now, another report would be statement of cash flow, okay? So it's a direct method. Again, you would see operations activities, investing activities, finance activities. It's a simple report. You can also edit this layout here. The same with Xero, with P&L, and you can group them together. You can group, you can summarize them. You can move this, okay? Maybe you would want to move this from here. It's up to you. Okay, you can drag and drop. This is how the new report works. Okay, so but I will not edit that. So I discard whatever I did. So that you can play that around on your own time. So this is the direct method report in cash flow report. We don't have an indirect cash flow, indirect method report for cash flow. Another would be cash summary. So I'll show you a cash summary. Cash summary is one of those very important report also in Xero because it gives you a cash basis P&L, line by line of your accounts. So I take this, and if you are looking at your cash flow of your business, this is where I normally look at. So how many amount I received already as of this month, how much I have paid in my operating expenses, did I spend for my capex? Does the owner put more money? And then what are the tax inputs? Okay, normally I would include tax here. So this is also an operation report where you can compare this to several months. Okay, month by month you would see how your cash will flow. So at the bottom, this is the one that is very important because If this is your net cash movement, this would actually reconcile now in your bank statement, in your balance sheet. So if this is your balance 53,000 as of June, 53,000 as of June, normally it should match with your balance sheet, 53,000 as well. But this is a combination of already of your cash. So let's look at your balance sheet again. So this summary here is actually the breakdown of your cash accounts. So what does your cash accounts? So this is 53 here total. Why you end up with 53? Your cash summary will tell you. I end up with 53 because I have a net cash flow movement for that month of 51, plus I have an opening balance of 105. 100 from the bank, 5,000 from the petty cash. And then I have the ending balance for the next month, 53,000. The breakdown of that is 6,000 for petty cash and rack bank is 46. So that's why cash summary is also very important report. So it's an option. Normally we send this also to the client in some of them, but not all of them. Okay.